Okay, it's Jim. We're here on the Monopoly Project yacht. We're going to do our floating book reviews. Every successful real estate investor has a yacht, and unfortunately, it's a bikini girl's day off, so today's just me. Today, we're going to review three books, two on commercial property, and one is a fictional book. So let's get started and get out here on Val Vista Lakes, and we'll start with the first book. Okay, Jim back. It's early December. We're reviewing three books, two on commercial real estate, one on fictional on the British Navy in the 1800s. We're now up to our third book, which is Terry Painter's book titled, let's see if you can get that, titled The Encyclopedia of Commercial Real Estate Advice, How to Add Value when Buying, Selling, Repositioning, Developing, Financing, and Managing Commercial Property. And so I can't praise this book enough. It's outstanding. There's two things that I really like about it. One is that when he gives advice, he gives both sides. Like, for example, he says, should you use a loan broker? He gives a whole section on why you should not use a loan broker and a whole section on why you should use a loan broker. And then secondly, for all of these type things, he gives examples of how it worked one time and how it didn't work another time doing that. And so, like I said, I can't praise the book highly enough because we're now, let's see, it's 2021. So this year we've done single family home refinance on the Monopoly project that we bought for all cash. Jeff and I bought the Apache Junction property, and that was just a straight residential loan, investor loan in February. Over the summer, we refinanced our medical building. That was no cash out, so it was simply replacing the loan. The old loan was over 5%. The new one was 3.3, and so basically we're saving $2,000 a month cash flow with the new lower rate. And then we did a cash out refinance on our apartment complex with cash we're using to buy various other properties. Right now we're in the middle of an escrow that started out as something very simple and has now become something very complex because there's some issues with the tenants and there's some issues with that wasn't quite managed well by the previous owners. And when they hired a management company to fix it, it surprisingly enough made it a little worse. So we're trying to get through that. Hopefully we'll get through that. But he gives a lot of examples in here, and one of these, let me just give one of the examples he said is, when you're selling a commercial property, try not to let the tenants know because they might try and take advantage of you being in a deal, whether especially if you're the seller, and try and renegotiate the terms more to their advantage. And quite frankly, that's literally what's going on right now on their side. And so that's an example. There's a couple of new things that I learned in here. One of them was apparently, and I don't know if it's true. I haven't researched it or tracked it down. He says you can now get a commercial backed mortgage security loan for five single family homes and above, from $250,000 total value up to $20 million, which would be perfect for the Monopoly project if that's true. The rates are a little higher than just doing it individually, but it seems like it would be worth it for not having to go through it. Jeff and I are in the process of buying another Monopoly project house, which is on Crisman Road in Mesa. It closes in the first week of December because the seller wanted to do that for tax reasons. She didn't want to realize the gains until next year, which was okay with Jeff and I because it turns out it's a very good investment. It's an investor-to-investor sale. Jeff brokered it as the broker, but is not taking a fee. So it's an example of once you get into the business a little more, you can do things like that. And it doesn't make a huge difference in it, but it makes the deal a little sweeter, that much sweeter, not having to pay the real estate commission on both sides, and also agreeing to a price and not having the whole hassle of viewings and listings and sales and all this. It was just a private sale, private party to private party. So in any case, so this book, like I said, I could give you a whole lot more examples in here of things that I really liked. Some of it, and I guess my I guess a big comment on this is a book like this is really interesting and really useful. You can see the sunset in the background. You probably can't see much of what I'm saying or doing, but it's really useful. But book knowledge never replaces practical experience, and so like I said, it's a good place to start. It gives you some ideas. It's especially good for giving you ideas, and so I would recommend it if you're into a Monopoly project situation, if you own a few rentals, if you wonder what it might be like to do some of these things, on a bigger scale. And I hardly recommend the book. For me, it's an entertaining book, uh, and most especially why, because I'm literally in the middle of a lot of the things that he talks about, and I've seen them close up, and so to me it's very entertaining. Like I said about the current tenant and some other things about getting loans and what does the bank really care about. When we think about the bank, if you read this and by my experience, they're really in a totally different mindset than you are. Banks are basically totally 100% risk averse, and they want to make zero risk, and they don't really care about making a lot of money. They want to make their margin, but they're not in there to make a whole lot of money. They're there to make a margin that they've calculated with as little risk as possible, hopefully zero. So, in any case, it's Jim from the Monopoly Project. That's our floating book review for today. We're going to head back home here on Val Vista Lakes, and we'll see you on the next floating book review. Thank you.